The MC then smiled and said, "Drinking tea from the son-in-law is equivalent to approving the son-in-law. Let me interview the bride's parents." "Excuse me, are you satisfied with the groom?" Shui Xinlong sighed and said with red eyes, "Satisfied, satisfied." He was actually 10,000 dissatisfied in his heart, but he really didn't dare to say it at this time. Shui Xinlong's wife can only follow her husband and say things against her will. Charlie looked amused in the audience. This is the price of being unkind. Thinking that he has a bit of money and a little ability, he will look down on this and that. Such a person will only eat the bitter fruit in the end. After the farce of Sun Dewang and Shui Xinlong's family of 3 was over, the MC said, "Next, we will invite our second couple to take the stage, the groom Cardin and the bride Isabella." Cardin took Isabella's hand and walked onto the stage. The master of ceremonies followed the usual process and said some compliments, and then he went to the part of the marriage vow. Cardin and Isabella really love each other, so they are finally able to hold a wedding. Naturally, they are deeply moved. Therefore, the two clasped their fingers on the stage, and both left tears of excitement. Cardin's mood is more complicated, because he has just experienced the divorce of his parents and witnessed his father's second marriage with his own eyes, and his heart is mixed. After the bride and groom completed the exchange of rings, the MC smiled and said, "Next, let us invite the parents of the bridegroom Cardin, who is the couple who just had the wedding just now, and invite them to come on stage." Sun Dewang and Bella, who had just stepped down, could only bite the bullet and step on stage as the groom's father and mother. The grandchildren at the scene had extremely ugly expressions, but Mr. Orville brought a large number of younger brothers to applaud, and even a younger brother shouted, "Hey, this bride is about the same size as the future mother-in-law." "Hey!" The MC is affected and asks, "It is the bride who is older a little bit, or is the future mother-in-law of the bride a little older?" As soon as these words came out, Mr. Orville's brothers burst into laughter. Bella has just returned from abroad this year and hasn't started work yet. Isabella and Claire are almost the same. They have both been working for 2 years. So in age, Isabella is actually a bit older than Bella. Therefore, the scene suddenly became more embarrassing. The secretary's appearance was also dumbfounding, so naturally he couldn't really ask such a question, otherwise he wouldn't have to do his job of MC if he went out. So, he hurried to the next session on the spot, greeted the staff to put on the chairs again, put the teacups, and asked Cardin and Isabella to offer tea to their parents. When Isabella offered Bella tea and called Bella's mother, Bella cried again. What the HLL is this? Suddenly marrying a bad old master, he suddenly added a son and daughter-in-law. The point is that this son and daughter-in-law are older than themselves. After Cardin and Isabella changed their mouths to the newlyweds Sun Dewang and Bella, the MC finally breathed a sigh of relief and announced that this wonderful wedding was officially over. Immediately after the wedding, the bride and groom toast the guests. Bella wanted to give up the toast, but because she was afraid that Charlie would be dissatisfied, she could only come to the table where Charlie and Claire were with Sun Dewang, carrying a glass. Sun Dewang looked at Charlie tremblingly, and said nervously, "Master, thank you for coming to my wedding with Bella. We both toast you." Charlie said lightly, "Sun Dewang, after marrying such a good wife, you must treat her well in the future, and treat the child in her stomach well, have you heard?" Sun Dewang's face blushed, and he nodded and said, "Don't worry, I will treat Bella and the child in her stomach well." Charlie said with satisfaction, "This is just the truth. Don't have any opinions about the future young son's skin color. You must treat him as your own." Sun Dewang could only nod his head and said, "Master can rest assured, I will definitely."